We come to the end of our walk through Advent this week. If we were donkeys, we would be relieved of our heavy load. If we were shepherds, we would just about be starting our night shift in the fields above Bethlehem. And if we were wise men, we'd be just about to have the most exciting night of our lives, the biggest discovery ever on our nightly scan of the sky. What a place and a time to be in. The angels are in their heavenly choir vestry, backstage, putting on their halos, checking their makeup, straightening their wings. The angels in the orchestra pit, they're tuning up. Everybody's getting ready. That's what I imagine the first Christmas to have been like. I wonder if you have your own version. You see, my version comes from my own experience of Christmases and my own experience of the worship that surrounds this most famous event of all time. It's a time filled with music and performance, with carols and singing and playing music. This is the event, the one that will be told for millennia to come, through the medium of song, dance, plays by infants, film, music, art, poetry, architecture. The list goes on and on. But what do we mean by worship? To me, it means glorious music. It means adding my voice or my instrument to the heavenly host, singing the story over and over again to ensure that everyone gets the message. I know, however, that that's not the whole story. Worship is both an act and an attitude. It's a response to God, and it looks different to everyone. Just as we all have different styles of learning, so we all have a different way of worshipping. Words, music, gesture, silence, objects, scenery, anything that provokes and evokes a sense of awe. That is where we find ourselves in worship. You see, worship is about the numinous, that thing that isn't quite tangible, that feeling of the Spirit circling around us, that tingly feeling, the hairs on the back of our neck, those types of moments. It's impossible to teach it. It can only be evoked or awakened. It's in us all, but it will arise at different times and in response to different things. It isn't a process of the mind, but an experience of the whole person. At the heart of worship is remembering our shared story and our common history. Retelling the stories over and again helps to reinforce our common bonds. It's around a baby in Bethlehem, and it gives an opportunity for new participants to join in and take their place as we retell. The same happens at the Eucharist. We retell and we remember. We join together. We have a common experience. And we invite others to join us. Worship isn't all about singing glorious praises or contributing to elaborate orchestral works. Silence has its place. In the passages we hear at this time, Mary is a contemplative figure. She stores up all she experiences in her heart, and she ponders them into the future. Silence and darkness are what I'd associate it with a monasticism. Gothic architecture that we readily find in churches invites quiet darkness and silence as a form of worship. I've read of places where people attend Eucharist services up to an hour early to sit in the dim silence of the church, to contemplate, to ponder, to worship in that way. We come in Advent to worship in anticipation of a great and glorious event. As we've travelled through these weeks together, we've included a chance to be still, to watch a flickering candle. And we've tried to evoke that sense of worship in the quiet. On the team Facebook page, I've been posting daily images of these tiny Advent poems. My favourite is day 3. Advent, the conductor raises his baton and the choir takes a collective breath. It speaks to what I feel Advent should be, and it speaks to my feeling of worship. But I reiterate, to worship is an attitude and an act. It's about being open to the numinous, to the little tingly feelings that permeate the whole person. It's our response to God. It's shared with many others throughout the world and across history. We'll be thrust into carols and joyous rejoicing in a big way in the coming weeks. I'm going to try and spend some time not only singing the carols, but really pondering the words this year, contemplating what the words are saying. Maybe by taking myself into a place of worship that isn't my normal mode. Worshipping in Advent and at Christmas, we join with the angel choirs. We join with the shepherds quietly in their fields. We join with the wise men scanning the skies. We join Mary as she stores these things up in her heart. What we're about to remember is an awesome mystery, a mysterium tremendum. Let's make the most of it this year.
Almighty and light-giving God, in the quiet may we wait on you. In the waiting may we discover your presence. In your presence may we know your guiding light, that we may walk with you this Advent and throughout our lives. Amen. Let us be still before God. May we hear his voice, his words to us. May we know his presence, that he walks with us. Almighty and light-giving God, shine the light of your glorious presence, that our hearts may be lit, that our communities may see, that our world may know your peace. May your blessing rest upon us this Advent. Amen.